Ethan had also asked the question, what do people like about Sonic? And I think what I specifically like about this game is that this is some of the tightest level design they've had in one of these games in a very long time, because like with Forces and even Frontiers, as much as I liked it, it seemed like they were really struggling to do what used to come naturally in some regards. Like, for one thing...
What came naturally?
Yeah, well, it used to be like, even if a game like Sonic Heroes had not so great control as like the Sonic Adventure games, it used to be that at least there'd be a good sense of sensitivity and the jumping physics didn't feel like total shit. But then you play Sonic Forces and it's like, okay, what the hell is going on with this jump arc? Why is it so slippery? Like, they couldn't even get the controls right. And this game has actually really good controls for the first time in years. So that's something I really... Because, like, the controls for the cyberspace levels in Frontiers were just total ass. And this feels similar, but the boost actually feels like a boost this time.
That doesn't explain what do people like about Sonic at all.
Autism.
What this game does really well, because like you were talking about damage boosting through things in one of the parts, and it's kind of true that you can do that because of the ring system and how that basically means as long as you have a ring, you stay alive, and that can sometimes incentivize, it makes it easy to shake off getting hit. It makes it difficult to die unless if you fall down a pit. But with this game, the appeal of a lot of Sonic games isn't necessarily that, it's hard to beat the levels. It's not necessarily challenge. It's more like accomplishment. It's about trying to do the level as fast as possible and making it look good. And that involves picking the right pathways, keeping your momentum going. The bad thing about getting hit in these games isn't like, oh no, I'm gonna die. It's like, oh no, I threw off my groove, so to speak.
You threw off my groove.
Where like, you have like a good momentum going, and all of a sudden you hit an enemy by accident, and like your run is ruined. That's why the ranking system is actually really important in these games. Thanks, video game. That was very nice of you.
I love when Mikey's salty to video games. Like, thanks, video game. Salty. You got salty at me because I wanted us to backtrack in Goof Troop. Was there a branch that we went by earlier that we've already missed or gone past? Oh, you know what? There was. Actually,
I have a key already.
It was probably just for extra items, though, is the thing. Do you want to go back and look at them?
Let's open this first so that I can get rid of this key. Stop that. Yeah, because we backtracked literally for like a extra life, Alonzo, that I immediately lost.
There we go. That was a nice sounding effect.
Yeah, we did all that for some fruit. Thanks, Ethan.
Yes, there's another door. It was only like a couple of minutes. It made for a really funny joke, though.
Yeah, it's funny.
I was like, look at that, Mikey. We could have missed an extra life. As you were dying after getting it already. Look at that. We could have missed an extra life.
Oh, it's mine, because you made me go through.
No. No, well, great. Now you're back up to the default.
Totally worth our time. Thanks, Ethan Ross.
Be nice to me, Michael Xander. Fuck! Go!
That's super
It was only
funny.
a couple of minutes, but Mikey treats backtracking like it's the most... Like it's an inhumanity to man, whereas I'm like, well, if it's fun,
It wasn't required backtracking, though. It was more like Ethan's like, no, we might miss a key or something if we don't go back for this thing.
No, I was curious. I wanted to know what was there. Because I didn't want to miss it.
Ethan was good down for the adventure. Mikey was not.
But it's like this whole... Remember how you got angry at Alonzo for not using the hints in... the secrets in Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh, yeah.
And his preferred way was to find the Chaos Emerald wherever it went.
You can play the game that way, but it's not optimal.
What did you say, Mike?
I said you can play the game that way, but it's not optimal. Like, people
I like to explore as I like to cover every square inch of the map in games, and if I'm not, I don't like it. So like,
I mean, I do too.
if I go down one path, I will always go as far as I can and then go back and check out the other path.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this riveting, everybody?
You're riveting. You're breathtaking.
Whoa.
And Mikey, don't forget to increment the Keanu Reeves counter for that one.
Yeah, I'm so happy you realized that was a Keanu Reeves reference.
I can't think of a single Keanu Reeves quote.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's because, whoa. It's because my brain doesn't work.
What did he say in that Francis Ford Coppola Dracula movie?
Yeah.
Remember the fucking Sega CD game
Oh yeah.
based on that movie where you punch the bats and the background is like a horrible compressed FMV?
Oh, Bram Stoker's Dracula for the Sega CD.
Yeah.
What about it?
It's funny.
That had Keanu Reeves.
I played that for a bit and I was like, oh my god.
I mean, that FMV was impressive looking for the time.
Well, it's also
Sort
like
of.
completely desaturated and stuff.
I mean, I have that game, and it makes for it's a really funny Angry Video Game Nerd episode.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh my god, I fell right through. I landed on
That's
it."
this whole
He
game
lands
is
on it.
rats and bats. Now, one thing I
He
do have to
literally
say, 'cause
lands
this-
on the platform and then he falls through.
yeah, because the FMV made it look like he landed on it, even though the collision said he didn't.
Yeah. It's fucking funny.
Yeah.
So I got my Neo Geo AES modded because now Michael has ruined me and I have to... Oh, those are like bullet bills. Is that what bullet bills look like from the other direction, from Mario's perspective?
What looked like a bullet bill?
The gigantic things you have to duck under, like the first level of Super Mario World? Duh.
Those were just
Yeah,
walls that they're
duh.
throwing at us. Like, they're just literally just these things. And I wanted
It's
to
same
note something.
concept. Same concept.
Oh, by the way, did you see how there was... Shit. Back there, I'll play a clip of it, but there was like a secret rail off down to the side. That was probably like a... That's what this game does really well, is it has lots of little micro-optimization. Is that the Black Bull? Or is that like...
Is this the boss?
I think that might actually be a boss from Shadow the Hedgehog, but I'm not certain. And I'm sure that the audience will edit in a wrong moment if I'm wrong about this. I think that might be the Black Bull.
Ethan, what do you call a sleeping cow?
Move over.
A bulldozer.
This thing gonna
Okay.
die? Okay, yes.
Okay,
yes.
you got it. So anyway, I've been... thank you, Alonso. You get
I
you
was supposed
full
to use
points
the
for that
Doom
one.
Rush or whatever that ability is called. Ooh, okay.
What do you call a cow that can play the guitar?
A music master?
A musician.
That's close.
Okay. Oh, I'd say, Mikey got that one. He was close enough. We'll just say he got it. Canonically, he got that answer correct in the game Mavericks lore.
What's a frog's favorite drink?
Yeah, so one thing I'm really kind of weirded out
What
by
is?
it-
Oh no! Stop, Mikey. Quiet. What is it, Mikey? Alonzo?
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. What is what's a frog's favorite footwear?
Crocs?
What?
Open-toed shoes.
I love it.
I don't get that one.
Open-toed shoes.
Oh.
Before, I wanted to say my story about my Neo Geo because
All right,
Mikey's
fine,
ruined me in
you
the fact
may
that
go.
Ethan was happy playing games on RF and composite before Mikey came into his life.
Before Mikey sold me his PVM.
No, it was before the PVM too, because I've had a couple of consoles modded for a few years now. Now I'm way into making my games
Oh,
look good
I'm
as shit.
invincible?
Not to the
Okay,
extent
that
that
changes
Mikey
everything.
does. Not to the extent that Mikey does, but so I have like a couple consoles modded. I pulled out my Neo Geo AES, which first of all I discovered has an extremely low serial number on it, so that's kind of neat.
Do the low serial number ones have like a different hardware revision that's good or something?
I don't know. I just think it's like they printed them sequentially as they were built. So mine is number 7041.
Because I was wondering if
indicating
it
it's
was like with the Sega Genesis Model 1, the good Model 1s are the ones that have the extra port in the back and like HD high definition graphics printed on it and whatever.
That's actually the first two revisions, because the very first one doesn't have the lockout screen at the beginning, which is the one that I have, which I
can play.
Infuriates the hell out of me because it has the distorted audio of it's wrong. And the hum.
All right.
Then the second revision, it all looks the same except that it's the lockout chip. So the little when you turn on the game,
a license by
3
Sega
bars, the
Incorporated
license
or
by,
whatever.
yeah. My Genesis that I play on most of the time does not have that.
Agreed. Time to sever this bond between us.
Is this the CEO?
Yes.
He's laughing.
But as I was trying to say,
What's up with evil villain cackles?
as I was trying to
It's
say
fun.
for 100 times, this game does not have a single level in it based on Shadow the Hedgehog, except arguably this, because this is the final
So why
boss
is
of
he all in
Shadow the
Sonic
Hedgehog.
levels?
Basically, it's this guy.
What if they made a spin-off or a main series game called Amy the Hedgehog and you just play as Amy?
There are some people who are weirdly obsessed with Sonic and Amy's relationship.
Yeah, I was about to say, who are the characters most frequently shipped in this game?
In the series or this
Series.
game specifically?
So this game is Shadow and Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
No, that's just Alonzo.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves and Alonzo shipped.
Yes.
Okay.
It's great.
I didn't realize Alonzo's in this game.
Oh, so this boss is going to
Spiritually.
be very similar to Metal Overlord, apparently. All right.
This is the Demon Lord Doom.
Yeah, Alonzo, look it up
Demon
and see if
Dino,
Black
Demon
Doom is
King.
described as a
Demon King.
daimyo.
Demon King Doom. Finish your story because I want to say my story. Michael and I keep interrupting each other.
All I was saying is that they didn't adapt a single level based on Shadow the Hedgehog for this Shadow the Hedgehog Generations game.
Is it because they're acknowledging that the Shadow game is bad?
Well, if that were the case, they wouldn't have put Black Doom and all this stuff in it. For some reason, Black Doom turns everything into Radical Highway when you think he would try to turn it into the Black Comet instead. Because that would have actually been a really neat backdrop for the final boss, but they didn't do that.
Is this the final boss?
This is the final boss.
It is.
This is the final boss? This is all that's left of the game?
Yeah. Now do you see
Holy
why
shit.
why I was like... I mean, I thought it was going to be a little longer than this, but I still knew we didn't have that much of it left, so that's kind of why I was annoyed that you guys were like, we can't record this week.
Well, fuck. I was going to tell my story about my Neo Geo, so I sent it to... It's not even that big of a...
Go ahead.
It just took him 999 years to get it done. I ended up trading games for it. Normally, he's pretty lickety-split about getting my
Okay,
shit back
so there's
to me
a
on
hole
time,
there. I would appreciate it if you'd turn
This-
the camera in a way so I could actually see it, video game. That would be very helpful
but 2 out of
indeed.
10, bad game.
Okay.
It's bad
It's-
game, 2 out of 10.
So your Neo Geo.
All right.
Yeah, so it
Oh
took him
my
like 3
God.
months to get
Oh.
it back to me, and the other day, well, he tried to do this mod, and the thing with is that he's not very clear with like what his intentions are.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to describe it, but he'll, like, if I'm not sure what like what he means. He's not very good at explaining what he means. And then he gets annoyed if I get confused, and then I feel bad,
So he's
so I
like
don't want to
Mikey.
ask him questions. But yeah, pretty much. Like I asked him, like, what is the USB-C mod? Is it going to be, since it's a Japanese console, is there going to be problems? Whatever. He was getting annoyed, and because he also put in an RGB bypass as well as added S-video, and I wanted to ask, like, is it going to be the same connector output or not? And I wasn't understanding it, and he wasn't understanding it, so he was getting angry at me. I traded him my entire Sega Master System collection to get this job done for me, as well as gave him my most expensive Neo Geo game, so that he would send a back to me so that I could play more Neo Geo games, and get the Genesis modded so that I can get rid of those stupid jail bars that on my Genesis that Mikey hates so much. But it took him like 3 months to get this done. He tries to add a USB-C mod that didn't work, so he had to undo that because it couldn't supply enough power to the console, which is exactly what I was afraid of right off the bat.
Right.
And then finally, it's like, okay, I'm gonna get to it this week. And then like a month later, okay, I'm gonna get to it this week. And then finally, as he's finishing it all up, he sends me a message saying he lost